Hello, everyone. Welcome or welcome back to another edition of McKay Yoga. Today, we're just going to do some seated hip openers. So if you're not able to reach your toes, it's probably a good idea for you to have a strap. And if it's difficult for you to sit up tall, it would be my recommendation to sit up on something. Today, I'm just going to sit up on this little silly little pillow. Halloween came early in spring. So seated hip openers. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime that we go live or have new content. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. All right, join me, everybody. Have a seat. We're going to do some seated forward folds. Have your strap close by, maybe your lift close by. So let's start in Baddha Konasana. So the soles of your feet together, knees wide. So how far away or how close you want your feet is completely up to you. What you want to look at is the knee height as it relates to the hips. Eventually, you want the hips and the knees to be in the same plane, if you will. And use your inhale to sit up really tall. And when you exhale, you could fold forward. You could hold onto your ankles. You could take your thumbs to the archway of your feet, kind of like you're opening up the book, or book, your feet, meaning the book. You could open up the feet apart. So here the inner thigh is moving towards the outer thigh. You may or may not feel something at the inner thigh and groin. So this is a great pose to start the hip opening. From here, we'll move into a thread the needle. We'll do a thread the needle sitting upright. So sitting on the center of your sitting bones, bring your hands behind you. Take your right ankle above your left knee. Right? Flex your right foot and kind of let that right knee move away from you. Same thing, how far or how close you want your left leg is completely up to you. Usually closer is a little bit more challenging, but again, that's completely up to you. Take an inhale here. Then when you exhale, lean backwards and change the leg. So now that left outer ankle is above the right knee. You could draw the right leg in towards you a little bit closer, sit up tall, move the chest towards the kind of triangular space that's in between your legs. And breathe. Breathe into the fronts, the backs, and the sides of your hips. Take an inhale here. Now when you exhale, lean backwards, bring your feet to the ground, sit up really tall, and now extend your left leg forward and straight. Place your hands underneath your right shin, lift your right and lower leg up, and this is what I'm going to call a forklift. This is what I'm going to call a cradle. So you could cradle your leg, you could forklift your leg, and really here, you're just moving your thigh bone in the hip socket. So a little bit of range of motion here, moving the thigh bone in the hip socket, and then placing the sole of the right foot to the left inner thigh. Now, if you're in that seated position and you realize, oh, I really don't need a lift, remove the lift and place it to one side. We'll call these guys scullies, kind of like a little situation here. So flex your left foot so your left leg is straight. If you're not going to be able to reach your toes, you're going to have your strap close by. You're going to inhale, reach the arms up, sit tall, and then exhale, turn towards your straight leg as you fold. So the strap would benefit. If you're not able to reach your toes, you could use the strap. Right? So now the back ribs are moving towards the front ribs. Your chest is moving towards your straight leg. And breathe. The legs kind of replicate tree pose, right? Heart's turning towards the leg, the straight leg. Think belly to thigh, chest to knee. Crown of the head is reaching towards the left big toe. As you inhale, reach the arms forward and up. As you exhale, release the arms down. And I'm just going to simply change sides. So now the right leg's going to be straight. I'm going to hug my left knee in towards me. The left knee will go out to the left sole of the foot to the right inner thigh. Really flex your right foot, straighten out your right leg, and think of getting the back of your right knee towards the floor. Inhale, grow tall, sit up really tall, and then exhale, turn a little bit to your right and fold. So think of length first, and then you're going to fold forward. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. Keep the flex of your right foot. Same thing. You think belly to thigh, chest to knee, crown of the head, reaching towards your right big toe. And then I forgot to do that hip movement, but I will do that. As you inhale, reach the arms forward and up. As you exhale, release the hands down. And here we go. We're either going to forklift the leg, like so, or cradle the leg. You could think kind of like a happy baby or like a lifted pigeon. So that movement of the thigh bone and the hip socket. Take an inhale here. Then as you exhale, slowly release. I'm going to turn towards you. And we're going to sit in what is called Sukhasana. So I'm sitting up on my lift, and I'm crossing my shins. So my right shin is in front of my left shin, and I've got like a triangular shape in between the legs. Sitting up really tall. You can stay right here, sitting upright. Or if you prefer, you could start to take it into a forward fold, where you start to kind of hinge a little bit and reach forward. So you're not trying to go to your edge. You're just trying to get the hips to open up. The hip is a ball and socket joint, and it has all range of motion. So you want to try and stretch all areas of the hip. As you inhale, bring yourself back up. And then as you exhale, you're going to change the crossing of the legs. So now the left shin is in front of the right. You've got that triangular shape in between your legs. You're sitting up really tall. Hands facing down usually is more grounding. Hands facing up a little bit more energizing. And then you decide whether you want to stay upright, or you could use your exhale to walk the hands more forward and fold a little bit more forward. As you're doing that, make sure that the pubic bone, not the pubic bone, beg your pardon, your sit bones are still connected to the mat. Your pelvis might shift a little bit forward, but you try to shift it a little bit backwards so that the pelvis is even. So think of the pelvis like a bowl. And then bring it back in, and just for fun, let's do one other hip opening thing, just because we're here, and see how it goes, right? So we'll revert back to what we did earlier, where we kind of forked lift or cradled the leg, and we move the leg a little bit from side to side. Now we're getting really, really crazy. We're going to see if we can take that leg over your shoulder, like a shrug, right? So now you've got that right leg over your shoulder, hands to the floor, lift your butt up, maybe cross the ankles over each other, and then bring it back down. FYI, a party trick for you to show at your next party. Let's see if we can do that on the second side. Just a little bit of hip opening from a seated position. So here we go with the forklift. Here we go with the cradle. And now we're going to move it into a shrug. Right? Talk about being bendy like a pretzel. Shrug, lean forward, draw the belly in. It requires your abs. Lift, maybe cross the ankle, and gently press it down. Come back to sitting with your shins crossed. So there you had some hip opening and an arm balance. What? Hip opening, arm balance, and abs? Who knew all of that could be in one video? Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for subscribing, giving it a thumbs up, and hitting the notification bell. If you like this sort of content, make sure you subscribe. In the meantime, peace out, yogis, and ciao for now.